There's killers far and wide just waiting to be caught and logged in the horror region of the world. And if luck's on our side, this wild Chucky will be the first. Come here, you little bugger. Most people shuffle off this mortal coil when their soul leaves their body, but that was only the bloody beginning for one of the most notorious, notable, and Eevee-like killers in horror, whose career spans 4 decades, 7 movies, a TV show whose 2nd season was recently greenlit, and more evolutions than you could shake a Pokeball at. Just as notable, his storyline is one of the more cohesive and chronologically sound in horror, if you're able to overlook an amulet or a retcon here and there, and things come so full circle that his younger self in the TV show is actually played by the daughter of the actor who voices this horrifically iconic character. What's up, guys, gals, and ghouls? Resident Trainer Dallas here. Today we're talking about your friend to the end, sometimes Tommy, always a rude fucking doll, the original
good guy.
Say, what's your name, pal?
Chucky.
I snuck into the Playpal's factory and caught us a wild one, so now that we've added him to our Murdex, let's take a look at what Ade Dues this little fucker's dumbala. Chucky was thought up by Don Mancini and first cited in the horror region in Child's Play, released in 1988. The story, originally titled Blood Buddy, leaned more into the idea that Andy may have been the one responsible for all the deaths, which sounds like a fun twist, but it probably wouldn't have yielded as many sequels as the series wound up with. After being retooled by Mancini, director Tom Holland, and John LaFia, the supernatural voodoo aspect was added and the rest is history. The human form, known originally as Charles Lee Ray, aka the Lakeshore Strangler, evolved into Chucky using the Voodoo Stone, transferring his soul from the bullet-ridden body he'd previously inhabited into the Cabbage Patch competition of the time, a good guy doll. In Child's Play, we find Charles abandoned by his crime buddy and gunned down by Detective Mike Norris near a toy store, where he finds a that'll do donkey vessel to transfer his soul into to enact the revenge that he's just vowed upon them both.
Okay. And yeah.
It's birthday season for little Andy Barkley, and unfortunately, he's on breakfast duty. It's also unfortunate that he gets exactly what he asked for, and more. Pants. He gets more pants. His new buddy Chucky says 3 sentences, comes with his own batteries and a bit of a murder streak. Babysitting goes bad. Andy takes the D-train solo to be an accessory to murder. Gets institutionalized, escapes, and finds his own way home. Good job. In the meantime, Chucky finds out that he needs the Andy Stone to evolve back to human form. Norris's nuts nearly get nixed, and the Andy Stone reunites with his mom and Norris to take on Chucky in a fiery finale that was originally supposed to take place on the roof. A decent dose of fire, several appendages, and a gunshot to the heart later.
Just a flesh wound.
This is finally the end, friend. We logged 3 forms of Chucky in Gen 1, including his original human form, his initial doll form, and his crispy critter form. You'd think the special attack, the most unique or best kill, would be Aunt Maggie taking a hammer to the eye and mistaking a window for the elevator, but the fact that voodoo dolls are real and really work in this universe give this movie a supernatural edge that we really haven't seen in the series since. Apart from how stupid it is to leave a doll of yourself laying around, it was a supernaturally unique death. Chucky in this movie is weak against 6-year-olds, detectives, and moms with guns. Oh, and insults.
Ugly doll. Fuck you.
Child's Play 2 picks up in 1990, and Playpals so desperate to restore their image that they're willing to restore a piece of evidence from a crime scene. What could go wrong? Well, let me count the ways. Reconstruction goes awry, Voodoo Lightning acts as a max revive, and our boy's back in action. What do you think of the end result, Mr. CEO?
Stick it up your ass.
Excuse me, sir, I am a top.
Mostly.
He tracks down Andy, who's just been placed in a foster home, and is quick to not only infiltrate but make his move. Tommy's sacrificed so Chucky could blend in. Teacher learns a lesson about locking kids in classrooms. Hello, fire hazard. And Andy wants to smoke. But it turns out Phil can't hang. In our first showing that physics means nothing in this universe. Like, how is he holding that much weight? Nope, never mind. Andy's sent back to the orphanage. Kyle finds some grisly remains. Joanne can't even get an on-screen death, and Chucky hitches a ride to meet back up with Andy.
Come on, you want some of this? No!
Ha ha.
Bitch.
After making copies, everyone somehow winds up back at Play Pals where it all began, so it can all end. And end it does. Like at least twice. We logged 4 forms of Chucky in Gen 2, including his restored form, Body Mod Chucky, a little off the top Chucky, and Let Me Grab You a Towel Chucky. This is also the beginning of a more comedic tone for the series, and features what's probably the most recognizable score that we've heard. The Gen 2 special attack kill is Teacher Learns a Lesson. This is easily one of Chucky's most well-known kills, and it's Beth Grant. How can you not love it?
Oh no, Miss Kettlewell. I doubt your commitment to sparkle motion.
In Child's Play 2, Chucky's weak against 7-year-olds, women drivers, and evil factory machinery, which is my favorite of all of Andy's special attacks. Child's Play 3, released a year later in 1991, sees Andy in what must be several years or some human growth hormone later, as he's now like 16, 17. It's 1998, Andy's in military school. In the meantime, Play Pals is back in business, and even when they aren't meaning to use crime scene evidence to cook up a new version of Chucky, they're doing exactly that.
I know, but this one's part of the series, even though it wasn't as highly regarded as the rest, so we had to do it.
He gets the circulation going and once again uses the Play Pals info that they've kept on Andy to track him down.
Where are you, you little shit?
He's intercepted by lonely first-class Tyler, who's way too into the good guy commercial, and without even consulting Voodoo for Dummies, figures that he can body swap with Tyler now that he's got himself some new skin. The chase is on, and in the meantime, the garbage man gets taken out like the trash. A big, strong man gets scared to death like a little sissy.
What's the matter, boy? Don't you like dolls? Don't you think we're fucking cute?
And someone turned off the friendly fire. Whitehurst turns out to be a real one in that scene. Security needs security. OSHA violations ensue, and it's a 1-2 unhanding for Chucky before he's plummeting towards his next movie and his most recognizable look. We logged 3 forms of Chucky in Gen 3, including his twice restored form. It's Halloween, so I'm gonna try Drag Chucky and Phantom of the Carnival Chucky. He's leaning harder into the comedy, or at least cackling a lot more at himself. Although this one features a soundtrack that seemed like it was made for TV, especially when you watch 2 and 3 back to back. The Gen 3 special attack kill is probably the blank swap that gets Shelton shot point blank in the chest. Like, there was a lot more potential for more bloodshed in that scene, but Chucky's never had an assist, so it only barely made the cut over Garbage Day. In this movie, Chucky's weak against lonely first-class Tylers, Lipstick, De Silvas, Andys, carnival rides, and unnecessarily large bands. Bride of Chucky picks up 1 month after Child's Play 3, still in 1998. Tiffany Valentine, hopelessly devoted girlfriend of Charles Lee Ray, has finally tracked him down, albeit in much more of a fixer-upper state than she had last seen him in. She brings him back to life, gives him a kill on a silver platter, fixes him dinner, and he thanks her by clarifying a ring that he had left behind wasn't an engagement ring like she'd thought. The imaginary wedding now off, she puts baby down for a nap.
Let me out of here right now!
Sweet dreams, asshole.
But baby don't play that. He puts her down for good using a solid electric attack. Evolves her using the voodoo stone, and now it's them against the world if Tiffany wants to make it back to human form.
You son of a bitch! What have you done to me?
Tiffany's neighbor and his bride-to-be fit the bill, but to work, the spell needs a retcon, an amulet, that Chucky's human form was buried with. Now it's a road trip of semi-epic proportions to get there, and just like any other extended time period around people in a car, it's eventually going to show you who they really are.
Have you got a rubber?
Have I got a rubber?
Yeah.
Tiff,
What?
look at me. I'm all rubber.
Oh, that's right.
Tiff, those dishes aren't gonna wash themselves, you know. What are you doing? What would Martha Stewart say?
Fuck Martha Stewart!
They make it after an unexpected detour. But once again, Chucky gets denied, and after a cute little lover's quarrel, Chucky bows out but assures us he's going to be back for more.
I always come back!
And the next movie's namesake makes their first appearance. We see the one form of Frank and Chucky in Gen 4, which is arguably his most recognizable iteration. In Gen 4, we're introduced to Tiffany's first 3 evolutions. We see her human form, her first doll form, and her crispy critter form, which seems to be a rite of passage when you're a supernaturally possessed doll. She evolves with the Crime of Passion and Voodoo Stones, and the seed of Chucky is shown in their newborn Who Dis form. His special attack has to be Chief Kincaid's Pinhead cosplay,
No!
bringing Chucky into the 90s with an innovative use of some lovely household nails and an airbag you can find in any modern vehicle. Top it off with some light stabbing from any serrated kitchen knife to really make it pop. In this movie, Chucky's weak against baby cages. Or I think straight people call them playpens. Jade and Jesse? Yeah, let's be honest, it was a lot more Jade than Jesse. Yeah, I'm not one to give medical advice, but I don't think you should be doing that, man. And Martha Stewart.
Who the fuck is Martha Stewart?
So there we all were, thinking that we were safe with 3 being the low point in the series, when Seed came along and said, "Whoa, get down there, big shifter. Hold my load." Seed picks up where Brad left off, with the aftermath of doll sex rearing its CG face. We get 2 dream kills before "you're pissing your pants." Shitface puts on a show and decides to make a break for Hollywood when his 23andMe results come back. Dumbala gets real forgiving with them incantations.
Ade, Due, Dambala, awake.
and Chucky and Tiffany get the circulation going with the first real kill of the movie.
It's up.
It's now a quest to find suitable human hosts for the new family of 3, maybe 3.5.
Sometimes I feel like a boy. Sometimes I feel like a girl. Can't I be both?
Well, some people.
No way.
With Tiffany eyeing Jennifer Tilly and Chucky eyeing Redmond.
Oh, that's so sweet, Redmond. Which of my films is your favorite?
That movie when you and that chick was making out?
Oh, Bound.
They need a vessel or two for Glenn, so they decide to turkey-base Jennifer in what's probably the biggest left this series has taken.
What am I supposed to do with this?
It just didn't feel right, Brian. Just didn't feel right. Chucky takes Glenn on a father-son road trip.
Yours, asshole!
Oh my god, this poor fucking kid. And comes back with a souvenir while Tiffany, as an empathetic new mommy, wants to change her ways and be a better role model.
A few years ago, I killed your husband, and I am so very, very sorry.
Which does not go well.
I don't know who you are, and I've put all of that behind me.
More than once. With Redmond now out and a voodoo pregnancy adding a ticking clock, Jennifer's driver gets kidnapped by a doll about as easily as you'd expect.
I need your body.
Joan gets fired by Glenda, and it's all too much for Chucky. Get it? Because on top of everything, there's now 2 kids, and I'd lose my shit too.
Everybody, shut up! I have had it! That's it!
So Chucky wants to stay a doll, and Tiffany objects.
I want to be Jennifer Tilly. I want to be a star.
And I don't want to be your chauffeur. I'm one of the most notorious slashers in history, and I don't want to give that up.
Which is one of the few times that I would say that he was like talking from the heart, and she was kind of being like willfully dismissive.
I have everything I want. A beautiful wife. A multi-talented kid.
Chucky, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know who the fuck you are anymore.
Like, he did earn that clout of 4 movies of shit. However, Tiffany, who hasn't been a doll since fucking 1988, opts to return to a human form. So Tiffany makes the leap solo, or does she? Nah, she did. Glenn makes Chucky a proud papa.
Attaboy.
And 5 years later, we see that things have changed yet stayed the same, with Tiffany still having little slips, Glenn's still pissing his pants, and physics still meaning jack shit in this universe. We see one Hollywood form of Tiffany and Chucky in Gen 5, a little more sleek, a little more polished, and Glenn and Glenda are introduced, well, in name, personality, like we saw them in Bride, whatever, with Tiffany and the kids all evolving to human form. As a family, they're arguably weakest against, well, each other. They're basically the protagonists of this entry, and no one really stands a chance when facing them. This is also knee-deep in the comedic Chucky era, and they seem to have just said fuck it when it came to this one. Like, I'm not mad at that either. It's irreverent, there's some bad CG here and there, but otherwise, like, it was honestly better than I remembered.
Jennifer, what did you see?
What, you want me to draw you a picture?
Would you? Somebody, give her a piece of paper.
Curse of Chucky shakes things up with a facelift and folds a family we haven't seen before into the enchilada mix.
Oh, next step is to fold in the cheese.
Nika and her mom receive a good guy doll that looks brand new, adding some suspense that we haven't really felt since the first movie. It's more, what's the deal with the doll than is the doll really possessed? Because, well, I mean, fucking duh, it's a Child's Play movie. So naturally, the first night the doll is there, Nika's mom gets got. Her C-word of a sister comes to settle the estate and figure out what to do with Nika, you know, since she's not a grown-ass woman with her own agency.
This isn't about me, this is about money.
Well, you know we've been struggling. Ian's working at Starbucks. We're gonna have to send Alice to public school.
And luckily for us, the sister brings plenty of future dead bodies with her. Although her sister does kind of have one point when it comes to Nika's heart condition, but we'll get there.
She was supposed to be taking care of you.
I said we'll get there, girl. Trying to build suspense and shit, damn. One rousing round table game of rat poison Russian roulette later, we've got our first victim.
Alice, honey, is something wrong? It tastes funny.
Just kidding, they off the priest, who conveniently enough remembered good guy dolls for their bad juju.
I seem to remember seeing them on the news.
I remember seeing people standing in line overnight just to get their hands on one of these.
Chucky plays hide and seek with the house while everyone's interpersonal bullshit comes to the surface.
I need a fucking search party. I have looked over every inch of this house and I can't find him anywhere.
And the nanny bites the dust when Chucky finally reveals himself. Like, and seriously, like, what even was this? You're having an affair. Act like it. The power goes out like the light in this couple's marriage.
I've seen the way you look at her.
Ditto.
What are you talking about?
The footage from the nanny cam.
What nanny cam?
The one I hid in the doll today.
Check and mate, bitch. He got you there. He's gonna sleep so good tonight. Barb looks like she would be the type to call out some bad work because it turns out Dr. Zismo, Chucky's surgeon, is not. Turns out this Chucky's more than just vintage. He's actually the same Chucky that we've been watching since part 3.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! The whole time you would... The whole time?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miranda, please.
Don't talk to me! Don't touch me!
And while on the search for Alice, Barb gets Chucky's first ever iMessage. Nika gets the second.
Ian, please, you know I would never...
No, there's that fucking heart condition, foreshadowing and such.
Ian, take this. And I need you to inject it under my rib.
Nika sells the Chucky story a little too hard to Ian, and he ain't buying it, so he ties her down, and that's where he fucked up.
Hey Barb, check this out. $450. Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this, I put it on your MasterCard.
Ian reviews the camera footage and finds that his daughter's a little dense.
Chucky, this is the best game of hide and seek ever.
Just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Chucky, stop cursing.
He takes his sweet ass time to turn around, and when Chucky reveals himself, Ian's all shock and jaw.
Say.
Chucky quickly learns that Nika doesn't have a leg to stand on, but she does have a leg to take an axe hit. And with one swipe, 2 swipes, she upends a little lore. Like, is he a doll? Is he human? The fuck? Hijinks ensue until old Chuck gets the upper hand and lays his backstory on Nika.
Didn't your mother ever mention me?
Which involved a shit ton of sunflowers for some reason, and the cause of her disability.
You did this to me?
No, Nika. You did this to me.
Not even sorry about this, but it does take some nerve to point your finger at an ex-fetus and blame it for your bad decision. They end up retconning this as well in the TV series, but that's an episode for another day. For now, Chucky's been put down, Or has he? No, he hasn't. The movie also comes with several endings, with Nika taking the fall for all the murders,
Lie, you son of a bitch.
Tiffany making an appearance, Chucky about to become a little girl, and Andy making his series comeback with a little gift for his friend to the... In Gen 6, Chucky's weakest against paraplegics with axes, unborn fetuses.
You did this to me?
No, Nika. You did this to me.
And grown-up Andys.
Play with this.
Andy!
Chucky's charged attack in Gen 6 would have to be shock and jaw. There's just something about it you can't beat. I mean, that's a quality jaw removal right there.
Woman for me.
So, who's next?
A spooky jump scare, but we're not counting that. Cult of Chucky catches up with Andy Barkley, all grown up and so stigmatized by his childhood that these days he's glad he had a friend to the end.
I was 6. My babysitter was murdered.
We've seen it. Anyway, I mean, come on, he's just trying to get laid. Although I am a little bit worried about his hobbies. No, not that. This. Nika, now committed for the events of Curse, can't seem to get these doctors to understand that she didn't do it, and this won't make her legs work. She gets acquainted with the orderlies, staff, and other people in holding, multiple Malcolm, Madeline, Miss Attitude, and she meets her niece's caretaker, Miss Valentine.
Nika, this is Miss Valentine, your niece's legal guardian.
I literally just said that, but thank you.
But you seem really familiar. Did anyone ever tell you look exactly like Jennifer Tilly?
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Pause, hold the fuck up. This is where it gets a little bit hazy as to who she's perceived as in this universe. She was Tiffany Valentine, she is now Jennifer Tilly. She wanted to be a star, but now that she is, she's going by Tiffany Valentine, like people don't recognize her, like she just got recognized, like who's playing poker? Anyway, she's got some good news for Nika about her niece.
How is she?
She's dead, Miss Pierce.
Ooh, that's bad.
But the bad news comes with a free Frogurt.
That's good.
I mean, good guy.
That's bad.
Wait, there's another good guy? Which they let Nika keep for some reason. That's bad.
Can I go now?
Yes. She decides to take matters into her own hands, and Chucky pulls a reverse Uno card to keep her ass in the game. Her hands are a max potion, whatever you want to call it. Nika puts Tu and Tiff together during a meeting and realizes there's something going on.
Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is usually the right one. Chucky did it.
And another Chucky has joined the game.
Wait a minute, there's 2 of them?
What an ugly doll.
Nika gives him the old Karen Barkley.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
And a diet Andying. But because there's no beating the crisp, full flavor of immolation, he keeps his cool. Even though you know on the inside he was like,
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
Miss Attitude gets herself some time in solitary.
What have you done to yourself now?
No, it was him. It was him!
One of the good guys has a secret to tell.
Rude fucking doll.
And one misdirect, several split shots, and a battle replay lifted straight from Bride later. There's some weird shit afoot.
Like sexual assault. What the fuck kind of hospital is this? Thank you.
Holy shit! And they call me sick? This guy is diabolical.
Chucky tries to induct Nika into the Murder Hall of Fame, but she whites out like Ben de la Creme.
I'm going home.
Yeah, well, she can't do that, Dayla. Her family's dead. And Tiffany gives Andy an official invite to the cult of Chucky, but he opts to join the cult of mentally unstable instead. Doc's got a surprise package of his own. Madeline gets a mouthful.
Boy, that's one way to clear that springtime sinus blockage, am I right?
And Nika schedules an impromptu session with Doc, who has this gross obsession with her.
I just can't with this guy. I don't know whether to kill him or just take notes. Where'd he come from? Who cares? Wake him up.
Now, I don't know if we want to consider this an evolution, but Chucky definitely learned a new move that I've been waiting for since at least part 3, when you see the blood get dumped in that tank of plastic.
Come on, you gonna tell me one doll came out of all that?
The orderly gets taken out, and it's a free-for-all to the finish as we see that amulet shit go right out the window.
Ade beaucoup, Dembella. Give me all the power I beg of you!
Nika gets some red-bottom shoes to go with that new use of her legs.
Oh god, I'm never gonna get monetized.
And after paying Andy a visit, waltzes her way onto the TV show and the next branch of Chucky's storyline.
And everyone's favorite foster sister shows up, but this isn't about you, Kai.
Kyle?
Andy sent me. We're gonna have some fun.
We saw 4 forms of Chucky in Gen... fucking what, 7? There was Chucky Classique, Take My Strong Hand Chucky, Driller Killer Chucky, and At-Home Haircut Chucky.
And he actually evolved back to human, y'all. Safe to say Chucky's still weak against adult Andys. Just killed the shit out of him.
Story does continue on in the TV show Chucky. If we ever make it to the TV show region, maybe we'll cover it someday. Over the course of the series, we saw Chucky specifically claim a total of 48 lives in a total of 16 different forms, with 3 evolutions before all was said and done. While the majority of those were on screen in solo kills, I did count off-screen deaths to characters that were established either before or after their deaths, like Joanne, the security guard in Part 3, and the old couple in Bride, since it was their RV that was being used. The 3 nameless corpses in Seed, however, did not make the cut because those bodies could have come with the house for all we knew. Chucky also dropped the ball in Seed with 0 solo kills, but the assists did start to rack up around then as well, with at least 3 in Seed alone. Tiffany hit the murderous ground running in Bride and didn't let up until the end of Cult with 8 total kills. Her special move seems to be Snooper No Snooping, with at least 3 men in uniform biting the bullet while being unable to mind their own business. Glenda wrapped up the series, or just Seed really, with 3 kills under their belt via assist, accident, or flat out murder. I think it's safe to assume Chucky and his family are fairy types, given their voodoo abilities, but also normal type, given how little that magic is actually utilized for kills or otherwise. And as Ucky Lee, or you, would say, that's it. That's the video. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you watching, listening, however you took this in. If you did like it, please like, share, subscribe, engage. Anything would help. This is my first one of these. I would love to keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it, but I would love to do bigger franchises, Friday the 13th, Jigsaw, stuff like that, but I do want to do some maybe 1 to 2 off movies, stuff that you wouldn't typically see, and just keep an eye out in the future. Yeah. Bye.